So there, you see, you have to put your horse in a box, and then you pivot in the box. Tell us about that. Why would you teach a horse to do that?
Yeah, so the pivot itself, your horse can learn pretty well, but it's like the side pass. When you add some pulls into there, it's a little bit trickier. So the pulls are going to make up the square. We're going to trot up either to the box or into the box, and then make sure our horse is set and standing square. They're not moving around, not doing anything silly. And then I normally like to do a shoulder pivot. I think it looks cleaner. I think it's harder to teach. So I like to teach I do the hindquarter pivot and the shoulder pivot. I teach both. But I think for showing, just like under saddle work, a shoulder pivot is more clean, and just the level of difficulty is a little bit higher, in my opinion, to be able to have a horse cross its front legs rather than its back legs. So in the box, I would, since we're doing one pivot, one direction, a full circle, I would pick the strongest side of my horse, and I would ask them to do it on their strongest point. Sometimes you're asked to do both directions. This one's just one. And I'll have her rock back on her hindquarters, cross over her front legs, and be able to go completely around in that box without hitting a pole, without walking over. So once again, whenever you hit a pole or you walk out of the box, or your horse does, that's a deduction of points, and it doesn't look clean to the judges. So you normally do what your horse is best at, especially in this challenge. If you have a horse that does not like to do a shoulder pivot, go for the hindquarter pivot. Make sure that you're using the strongest point of that horse and you're emphasizing it so the judges only see what looks good.
That makes sense. I feel like the horse, if they're confident with that, they're going to do better, right? What does any of this stuff have practical application? Is it just for showmanship, or does it actually have a use in training and teaching your horse when you do trail work and obstacle work?
It has major use. As you can see, like, that's what the Mustang thing is about. That's what the Wild and Mild is. It's making sure your horse can be a good citizen. Some animal that can go out and do maneuvers well, efficiently, calmly, and trusting in us the whole time. Because if they can't do these maneuvers, then why would we expect to ride them? If they can't do these maneuvers, how well are we expected to ranch off of them? How well
so
are
you're
we
saying before you ever
them?
get on a horse, like for you, these are things that are foundational that these horses need to know how to do?
Yeah, so when I start riding horses, I like them to know pretty much as they can on the ground before I ride them. If anything under saddle is normally what you can teach on the ground first. So I like to do that. These horses, we can see these Mustangs, when they finish up these shows after 3 months, they're normally dreams to ride because they've had all this groundwork. They've had this solid foundation that just gives them confidence with you on the ground. So why wouldn't they be confident when you're on their back? So it really helps them just be able to use their body to maneuver differently and to do that all at your command in a way. Because of the training and the hard work that's gone into them. And it definitely applies to everyday life. Like, we back out of a trailer, we lead into a trailer, you know, we side pass up to a gate to open a gate on a trail so we don't have to get off and walk. So yeah, it's every day you'll find these things are very applicable to life in general.
Awesome.